So here we have the rest of the turkey carcass. It was roasted and then we picked it. We put the juice and the meat together and then I reheated it today. So it's all heated through. And what I'm going to do is take the meat out now, add it to my jars, and then bring the broth back up to temperature and season it. And then we'll go ahead and fill the jars up to proper headspace to process it in our pressure canner. Now, because I'm using the broth that the turkey was cooked in, I'm putting this in a glass measurer so that I can skim the fat content out of that broth. And the reason I'm doing that is because, number one, when you roast a turkey, a certain amount of the marrow and fats and nutrients that are healthy for you are baked out of the turkey with the juices. I don't want to lose any of that. And yes, I'm still going to save the turkey bones to boil for a bone broth to get the rest of the nutrients out, but I want to be able to salvage what's there and add it to my canned meat. So I'm just going to let this set for about 5 minutes so that I can get a good, healthy layer of fat at the top and I can skim it again. All right, so this has had a few minutes to set. And you can see we've got a nice healthy layer of fat. So what you're gonna do is very carefully take your ladle. You can see it's formed a skim. And just kind of start scooping that off. You wanna be careful just to get the fat so that way you preserve as much of the broth as possible. Sorry guys, I'm a little tongue-tied today. Nice thing about the fat is it sticks right to the top, and if you're very careful, and you can see we're getting towards that breakaway point where we're starting to see broth. And if you have to, don't be afraid to let it set for another minute, just to let any disturbed fats that have mixed back down be able to come back up to the top. And you're just going to continue this process until you have clear broth. And you can see there's still little meat bits in there, and that's fine. That won't actually hurt a thing. Yeah, I think I've got the majority of it off. Get a little more. All right, so now I'm going to heat this back up, add some water to it, and then season it. As you can see, our jars are loosely packed up to the shoulder with the meat. I have some boiling water here. And I have our broth, which is just, you can see it's starting to move, which means it's starting to simmer. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to take this broth, ladle it over the hot meat. Now because we're doing quarts, we're gonna do 90 minutes on 11 pounds pressure to process this. You're gonna fill it to a 1 1/4 inch headspace. Okay, and you want to make sure once you ladle the broth over, you're going to want to remove any bubbles. And then if you don't have quite enough broth, you can just top it off with hot water, which is why I have that prepared.